Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Technical Tuesday. This week, we're going to be doing a trade recap that I took on the British pound New Zealand dollar last week. So it was a short position, and the fundamentals sort of supported it. We had some risk on um, news come out, but overall, the technicals also pointed to a possible downward move, and so that's what we're going to be talking about is how I found the trade technically, how I managed the trade, and where I decided to take profits. So let's get right into it. This is what the chart looked like last week before I took the trade. As you can see, honestly, if you're looking at the chart as a whole, this is on the 4 hour. It's looking a little more bullish, right? We had this level of support that's been respected, making higher highs until recently, but still higher lows. So more neutral to bullish. So why did I take a sell? Well, let's get down on the 1 hour and take a closer look. So it reached this level of support here. Let's just mark it off. So it reached this nice level of support, and we saw it got rejected, and it's heading up. On top of that, let's draw a few more zones. We have this upward zone here, and then we had one in the middle of this range. If you can see here, the price respected numerous times. So knowing that information, this looked like a place the price could stall out at. So let's just take a look. All right, and we're seeing a lot of buyers were entering the market. So nothing for a sell quite yet. It did reach the zone, but nothing quite yet. Now, if we draw a fib from this low to this high, it was sitting right at the 38.2. So that was a nice confluence area if this was going to continue its downtrend. On top of that, we did have a trend line here. So, possible rejection off of that. And looking at the moving averages, it did break above all three moving averages. But yeah, so that was a negative input for this trade. So that was more of a bullish confirmation. So really, we just have to look at price action to determine if we want to take this short or not. So I was looking at it, and I did see we were getting rejected at this area. Now, at this point, I decided it looked like a good place to go short, kind of like a triangle, and, at least look for it to get down here. If we could break this area, we could see a nice move down. So that was my technical plan for the trade. I got in a little bit lower, actually. If we take a look, I wanted a bit more confirmation. So we got a break lower, came back to retest this 200 moving average, and I got in somewhere around there. So I got in somewhere around here, nice rejection off the 38, and it was able to break below and retest this moving average. My stop was around 100 pips, something like this. If it broke and it broke this trend line, I probably wouldn't want to stay in the trade. And it came and broke this zone. So yeah, it was somewhere along this line, around 100, a little over 100 pips, something like that. And my first TP obviously would be this area down here. However, in order for my risk reward to be at least 2, I would need to hold the trade at least to this 127. And that would give us our minimum of 1 to 2 risk reward. And of course, once we got down here, I would take partials and my stop would be moved. So it would still be a win, just not the 1 to 2 risk reward that we, that I like looking for. So now that we have our stop in place, we have our targets, and I also matched up this with, this area, this zone here. So also that was nice confluence to take profits. However, the 161.8 also lined up with an area of confluence. So my final TP would probably be around this area. But we would take profits along the way. This would probably, I wouldn't want to hold down to this area just because it doesn't really line up with any other confluences. And fundamentally, which we're not going to get into today, it probably wouldn't hit that quickly. But regardless, let's see how this trade looked. We did see some nice movement down, nice selling. And at this point, it's getting into this range. I moved my stop to break even. So now there's no risk on the trade. And it is now below all three moving averages, which is a good sign for this to possibly pull back and head lower. So at this stage, I took a little bit off. I probably took 20-30% off, something like that, just because I was seeing some rejection. It was at a nice level of support. Now, after that, we just had to look and see how this thing progressed further. So we did get a break lower after some consolidation, and we hit, I didn't get a chance to take profits, but we did hit our second area where we would take some partials. At this point, it's kind of 50-50 where it's headed, but we did get back into that zone, and I took some more off around here. Around another probably 10-20%, and let this thing progress, and we headed even lower, held, and at this point I took a little bit more off, even though it didn't officially get to this area. It was pretty close, and we did get rejection off the top area of this zone. So, I took more off. So at this point, I probably only had 40%, roughly 30% on. So, a lot of the trade was taken off at this point. I believe I moved my stop probably like at this last high here. So, move my stop around like there, and just seeing if we could get, a TP hit. So we did get stopped out there on the remainder of it, but like I said, most of it was already off at that time. So we did end up capturing 370 roughly pips on this trade, which is a pretty nice move lower. Honestly, I wasn't anticipating a move that far down, but that's the beauty about technical analysis, and the beauty of being able to move your stop is you can trail your winners. So, I wasn't expecting it to get honestly further than this. I was going to take some profits, lock in my risk, and I was thinking that was going to be the trade, but we actually moved lower and got a nice move down. So hope you guys learned from this. I did a couple pointers, takeaways from this trade that I have taken away is wait for a move into the moving averages. Recently, I've actually focused more on moving averages, and I'm really liking it. So before, I hardly looked at it, maybe used it a little bit as a confluence, but recently I've actually been liking it more for price direction and entry signals. So I did wait for a move below the 200 and a pullback into it, and as you can see, it held nicely. Another takeaway is to trail your winners. I hope you guys probably know this by now, but make sure you're holding on to your wins. If I would have taken the trade off here, I would have missed out on 200 pips, right? Just because I was scared or didn't want to hold my wins. So, nothing stopping you from trailing your stop. If it gets hit, it gets hit, but more often than not, it's going to yield more profits than you will lose getting stopped out. And oftentimes, if you're trailing your winners, if you get stopped out, you're either getting stopped out in profit or you're getting stopped out at break even, which either way, you're not losing money. So, you have only upside potential when you hold on to your winners. However, when you hold on to your losers, your upside potential decreases. So that's why you want to cut your losses quick and hold on to your winners for your best chance at being profitable. Hope you guys learned something from this. I have fun making these videos for you guys. I will see you on Fundamental Friday. Take it easy, stay safe, peace.